G'day guys, Sam here again with another install. This time on a Jeep Wrangler JL 2018 to 2020 model, and we are installing this powder-coated steel badass of a rear bumper here. Now we have packed this thing full of functionality. It includes a whole bunch of extras, starting with the built-in tow hitch right here. We've got these pair of D-rings included, and we have a pair of additional LED lights that fit into the rear bumper here. It also includes a deep wheel well, reverse OEM sensor holes so you're not giving anything up. Now this thing does take a moment to install. We've got to take the OEM one off and we're going to install a new one. So let's get started.
We start this install under the Jeep with the inner rear plastic covers on both sides, where we have to remove 3 small screws from each. When you remove the plastic covering piece, you're going to see the exposed middle bracket here. Now the next step is to remove 4 of these bolts, the 2 in the front and the 2 in the back. Now eventually we will take the entire bracket off, but we need to remove these first 4 now to remove the OEM rear bumper. Make sure your tools are set and ready, because you will be dealing with some pretty tight spaces to get these pieces off. Now simply repeat for the other side. The OEM stock rear bumper should come off relatively easy at this point. And that means we're ready to put on our new rear bumper. So we're going back under the car and we're going to go ahead and remove this metal bracket. It's the same thing on the other side, just remove those 4 bolts. We're at the workbench for a quick moment to prepare our included LED fog lights. In the packaging you'll find a set of bolts and some bracket adapters. We'll start by securing these 2 bolts on the sides of each light. Space is tight, so be sure to use a tool. We'll begin by hand screwing them all in. And then we'll use our included tool to tighten them all down. Not too tight though, leave them a little loose for adjustability later. We can now secure the fog lights into each side. Your new rear bumper is now ready to be installed onto the Jeep. Now this is a 2-person job, as there is nothing for the bumper to hang on to until it is secured in place, by first securing 2 of the longer bolts on each side. You'll notice we don't have the fog lights installed here, as it allows us to provide a better view of everything being screwed into place. If you have an OEM tow hook, don't forget to bolt it back in. Power tools are handy here, but like before, leave it loose. We'll tighten everything down as the last step. Next, we'll be securing these 4 bolts onto the back side of our included tow hitch. These 4 points directly behind the tow hitch are the ones we'll be securing. Grab your long bolts, start to shimmy them into the holes, and secure them with the included washers and bolts. Really take your time securing and tightening these points, as they're designed for heavy loading and should be able to deal with a fair bit of force. Again, power tools are really handy in tightening down these points as much as possible. Once everything is sufficiently tightened down, your rear bumper should be looking tip-top with a whole bunch of added functionality for your trail adventures. Let's talk about wiring up the lights for a moment. Included with your fog lights is this universal harness with 2 exposed wires at the end. The red is the positive wire and the black is the ground wire. Depending on your needs, there are numerous ways to connect these lights. As a reverse light, as an additional DRL, or even as an independent setup with an aftermarket switch. If your Jeep is already pre-wired for rear fog lights, you can simply use the yellow quick connectors for an easier plug-and-play option. Take your time and consult professional help if needed for this part. After your lights are hooked up, give yourself a good pat on the back. Your new rear bumper should be looking amazing on your Wrangler. But more importantly, you'll be ready like never before for that next off-road adventure.
Congratulations, you are done. You have added a piece of functionality to your Jeep that's going to serve you for a very, very long time. This rear bumper is looking fantastic. Now, it is going to take the average person around an hour and a half to 2 hours to install this new rear bumper. That's not including the lights. If you do decide to take on the lights yourself, that's going to take at least an extra hour and a half. Now guys, take your time. It does get complicated, but have fun, learn a whole lot. See you next time.